Hello, second graders. Today's math lesson is chapter 4, lesson number 9, two-step word problems. Our essential question for this lesson and chapter is, how can I subtract two-digit numbers? To start this lesson, I want to show you a video on two-step word problems.
Hey guys, how are you doing? I am here trying to get milk from this cow, but the farmer said there are a few steps to milking a cow. I did not really listen to them, so I am just going to try on my own. Ouch! I guess it is important to do all the steps when you have a problem. While I go take care of my bruises, why don't you guys learn about two-step word problems? There are many different methods people use to solve word problems, so don't think these methods are the only ones. These are just some that help me when I'm solving problems with more than one step in them. In two-step word problems, the first thing to do is find your question. What question is the problem asking? We need to know what they are asking us to figure out in the problem. After you know what the question is, you find your first step or first part to solve and figure out the answer to that step. Once you have that answer, you then move on to find your second step and figure out the answer to that step. Many times you'll need the answer from the first step to solve the second step. Usually, this will be the last thing you need to do in a two-step problem. Some word problems have more steps, and if they do, just keep solving the steps until you get the answer to the question in the problem. Now that we have that out of the way, it's time to bring in some word problems.
Okay, so we are going to go to our worksheet and practice these word problems. So can I have you find in your binder under Friday's work, you should have a lesson 9 sheet that says two-step word problems. And it looks like on the front cover some kids are on a sled going in the snow. So pause the video if you need to go get it. Once you have your worksheet, make sure you put your name nice and neat at the top. And then we are going to practice doing this two-step word problem, okay? On our word problem, it says we need to use base 10 blocks. So we're going to draw them and to solve this problem. There are 62 people sledding. So that's the first thing we need to draw, is 62 people sledding. And Mrs. Murphy is going to draw her base 10 blocks by starting with my sticks. I got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Okay, so I have 60, and then I have 2. So I need to draw 2 little cubes. 1, 2. So I have 62 people sledding. These are our people sledding. Pause the video ever if I go too fast in math, okay? Now, it says 13 people leave to go home. So if 13 leave to go home, I know I need to take away 13. Now, what you'll probably notice is I need to take 3 away. I can't do that. Bigger bottom. I need to go borrow. Okay? So I'm going to go from this 6th one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to cross it off. And I'm going to move it over here and I'm going to break it apart. So I'm going to use my hammer and break it into 10 cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Make sure you're showing your work just like Mrs. Murphy. So I took that 6 and I broke it into 5. 5 are left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to move that 10 over here. So now I have 10, 11, 12. So that 2 becomes 12. Now, can I take 3 away? Yes. Doesn't matter which 3. I'm going to take these 2 and this one, because then I know there's 9 left. Because if I take 1 away from 10, there's 9 left. 12 minus 3 is 9. 5 minus 1 is, now I'm going to take 5 and take 1 away, and now I have 4 left. going to pause for a minute and let you catch up. All right, I'm going to go on to the second step. This was our first step. So we have 45 left. Now, 12 people go inside for hot cocoa. How many people are still sledding? So now, guys, we have our 49, and we're going to take 12 away. So Mrs. Murphy's going to write over here. I'm going to put, actually, Mrs. Murphy's going to put a 1 up here. Please put a 1. This was your first step. Over here is going to be your second step. And we maybe should have switched them, but it's okay. So our second step is we're going to take this number, and we're going to put it at the top. 49. I'm going to make that a little better. I can see that on your video, you can't really see that. Now, I have 49, and I'm going to take away 12. So I can do that. I can take away 9 minus 2. I can take away 2 of these. So I'm going to take away 2 of these. 1, 2. So if I have 9 and I take 2 away, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 left. Now, if I have 4 over here and I take away another 1, now I only have 3 left. So I have 37 people that are still sledding. So down here, you need to write 37. Whoa, this was awesome because we got to draw it and see it, and we got to do the first step of subtracting, and then the second step of also subtracting. We just did our very first 2-step word problem. Pause the video if you need to catch up. If not, we're going to go on to the next page. All right, guided practice. I'm just going to read this. You don't need to write anything. I just want you to listen and follow along. It says that some word problems take 2 steps to solve. For example, there are 87 books at the library. 23 of the books are checked out. 4 of those books are returned. How many books are at the library now? So I'm going to start with 87, and I'm going to take away 23, because 23 are checked out. So when I subtract that, 7 minus 3 is 4, 8 minus 2 is 6. Now, I'm going to take that 64. This was my first problem, and I'm going to move it up here. Now, if 4 books are returned, they're brought back. So we're going to add those. So I'm going to put 64 plus 4 and add going down. 4 plus 4 is 8. 6 plus 0 would be 6. So in the library now, there are 68 books. So what we'll practice today is our answer down here is going to have to go up to the top up here. Okay? All right, let's practice this. On number 1, get your pencil out. It says Haley has 33 books. She gives 14 books to her cousin. So right now, Mrs. Murphy's going to start with the 33 she has. That's the biggest number. And I'm going to put that at the top here. This is our first step. Now, she gives. Mrs. Murphy's going to circle the word gives, because gives means we take away, we subtract. She gives 14 books to her cousin. Actually, let me circle that in a different color. I'm going to do this. 14. And gives. I'm going to put black. All right, we're going to subtract going down. 3 minus 4. We can't do that. Bigger bottom. Better borrow. I'm going to go up here to the 3. I'm going to take 1 away. That is a 2. I'm going to move that 10 over there. So 3 plus 10 would be 13. Now I can take 13 minus 4. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Then I can do 2 minus 1 would be 1. Now, that's our first step. Our second step is we're going to move that 19 up here. She gives 5 books to her sister, so she loses 5 because she gives them to her sister. So we're going to subtract 5. Now, Mrs. Murphy's going to put a 0 there to hold its place, because if you don't, some of you might go like this. Oopsie. Some of you might put your 5 here. And remember, that's not right because that would be like 50. So we have to put the 0 to hold its place and then the 5. Okay? Now we can subtract going down. We can do 9 minus 5. We can do that because 9 is bigger than 5. 9, if I have 9 fingers, 4 and 5 is 9, and I take 5 away, I have 4 left. And if I have 1 and I take 0 away, I still have 1. So there should be 14 books that Haley has left. All right, pause the video if you need to. I'm going to go on to the next one, which is number 2. And I know we're going to have to kind of write small and tiny because they don't give us much space. Number 2 says Dale invites 25 people to his party. 8 people cannot come. So we're going to start way over here, second graders, on the edge. And you're going to have to write small and neat, and so is Mrs. Murphy. We're going to start with 25 people. Okay, 25. And 8 people cannot come. So I'm going to take away 8. Okay. Now, I need to subtract going down. 5 minus 8, bigger bottom, better borrow. I'm going to go up to that 2, cross it off. And I'm going to borrow 1, so I have 1 left. I'm going to move that 10 over here. 5 plus 10 more would be 15. Now I can take 15 minus 8. So 15 take 8 away would be 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. So 15 minus 8 is 7. And 1 minus 0 is 1. So this is our first step. Now, we're going to take that 17. I've run out of room. Let's put it over here, actually, second graders. Let's put our second step over here. We're going to take that 17 and put it way over here. All right? So 17 people are there. And 5 people come that were not invited. Uh-oh, that's not good. But sometimes that happens. So we're going to add 5 people that weren't invited. All right, now we're going to add 7 plus 5, so 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Put down the 2, carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So there are 22 people that came to the party. So that answer is going to go there. All right, you just completed your second 2-step word problem. Pause the video if you need to. And then we are going to go on to the back page. So we're going to skip the independent practice for now. We'll come back to that in a minute. Let's go to the back page. And I would like you to cross off the brain builders. We're not going to do the brain builders, but we're going to solve this problem solving one, which is number 6. It says solve each 2-step word problem. So it says there are 48 grapes in the bowl. Maya eats 18 grapes. Her mom adds 22 grapes to the bowl. How many grapes are in the bowl now? So I'm going to start with the 48 grapes. And I'm going to write it tiny down here. I'm going to see if you guys can do that too. We're going to start with 48 grapes. Maya eats 18 grapes. So she eats them, they're gone. We subtract. All right, so the first step is to subtract. So 8 minus 8, I can do that. That's 0. 8 minus 8 is 0. 4 minus 1 is 3. Okay, that's the first step. Mrs. Murphy's going to put a 1. Now, the second step is to take that 30 and put it up here. So you can even draw an arrow. And here's step number 2. We have 30 grapes now. And her mom adds 22 grapes. So she's going to add 22 grapes. We're going to do a plus 22. And we're going to add going down. 0 plus 2 is 2. And 3 plus 2 is 5. So how many grapes are in the bowl now? there are 52 grapes. Okay, pause the video if you need to catch up, and then we're gonna go back to the independent practice. And Mrs. Murphy is gonna help you get started on these because these might be a little tricky. Okay. On the independent practice, I'm gonna help you get started. On number 3, it says, Mary Ann builds a tower out of blocks. She uses 89 blocks. 18 blocks fall off the tower. Her brother knocks 14 more blocks off the tower. How many blocks are still on the tower? So we're gonna start with our biggest number, which is 89. And we're gonna put that there. And 18 blocks fall off the tower. So I'm gonna circle the 18 and they fall off. So they're gone. So I'm gonna subtract 18. Now I'm gonna subtract going down. You guys can do that. You don't need to borrow. Your answer here, actually Mrs. Murphy's gonna put your answer here, you're gonna put up there. Okay? Then it says her brother knocks 14 more blocks off. So you know you're gonna have to subtract. So you're gonna subtract 14. So whatever your number is there, subtract 14 and get your answer and then put your answer there. All right, see if you can do this one on your own. Pause the video to fill those in and to subtract both steps and then put your answer there, please. Okay, I'm gonna go on to the next one and help you get started on this one also. Okay, number 4 says Ray has 56 comics. He gives 12 to his friend. He borrows 14 from his little brother. How many comics does Ray have now? So he's starting with 56 comics. So Mrs. Murphy's gonna write 56 to start with. This is the first step. He gives 12 to his friend. So we're gonna take 12 away because he's giving them to his friend. How many comics, does he have now? So we're gonna subtract. You don't need to borrow, so subtract going down. Your answer down here, we're gonna put up here for the second step. So this is the first. The second step is you're gonna start with your answer here. And he borrows 14 from his little brother. So if he borrows 14 from his brother, he's getting them. So he's adding to them. So we're gonna add 14 more. So whatever your answer is up here, Mrs. Murphy's gonna put a line for it. Add 14 to that, okay? So I was just showing you that's where that number goes, okay? And actually, instead of putting a line, maybe Mrs. Murphy will just put a circle. That's where that number goes. Now you're gonna add 14 to that number, okay? And whatever you add, your number goes here as to how many comics you have. All right, pause the video, subtract and then add, and then put your answer there. And the last one, number 5. There are 39 penguins on the iceberg. 11 penguins jump into the water. 4 more penguins jump onto another iceberg. How many penguins are left? So we're starting with 39 penguins. So I'm gonna circle 39, and I'm gonna write it right here. Oops, that was a little big. 39, and this is gonna be my first step. And then 11 penguins jump into the water. So if they jump into the water, they're going off. So I'm gonna subtract 11. All right. Now, whatever your answer is down here, you're gonna bring it up here to the second step. So this is second step, number 2. Now, 4 more penguins jump onto another iceberg. So now 4 more are gone again. So we're gonna subtract from this number up here, 4. Okay. And then how many are left on how many penguins are left? So then put that right up here. Whatever your answer is here, put it there. Just make sure you subtract 39 minus 11. Whatever your answer is, put it up there. Subtract 4, and then put your answer up there. All right, second graders, if you have any problems, come on Zoom at 1:30 and Mrs. Murphy will help you with your math. but I did help you get started, so hopefully you understand the two-step word problems.